Okay, so let's get started. So my name is Martin Vigo. I'm a product security lead. I'm from Galicia, Spain. If you haven't been there, go check it out. We have the best seafood in the world. I said that in every talk. No one has gone there yet, but I really like research. I like scuba diving, and I like gin tonics. If you guys want to ask questions later, you know. And this is a picture of my sister and me when I was 9, I believe, and that was my first computer. I really love this picture. It's an Amstrad. Anyone had that computer? I think it was only sold in Europe. Yeah, really? Nice. And I'm playing probably the best game ever written in Spain, which is La Baldía del Crimen. It's a kind of abandonware. I love that game. If you haven't played it and you like abandonware, make sure to download it. So question for the audience, have you left your phone unattended? Ever? Like on the desk, going to the bathroom, or on a coffee? Okay, I knew the audience is going to be hostile and all raise their hands. Okay, that's good. I'm sure that in the live stream someone is like, yeah, me. Did you disable the assistant in the lock screen? By the way, the one on the left is the Cortana Windows mobile. No one knows about it. It took me a while to find the icon. Did you disable notifications on the lock screen? Because, for example, in iOS 11, it used to come by default. Now, it's not the case. So then there is a question now. What can the system do while the device is locked? Which is kind of what this talk is around. What is the things you guys think when you say, hey, Siri, and the device is locked, secure, encrypted, and all that stuff, can do that you guys think may be an issue security-wise?
Hey, Siri, can I unlock my phone?
Yeah. That's the easiest bypass ever. Any idea what the kind of stuff that you could do that you guys think, oh, maybe this has some security consequences?
Phone calls?
Phone calls, yeah, that could be like, like contacts, I don't think it gives you, I believe.
Open apps or website? AirDrop?
You cannot open a website, I believe. AirDrop, you can activate, that's a good one. Another thing that you can do, it's actually send emails and SMSs. So this all started, this talk comes from like one day I received, who uses Venmo here? I guess many of you. So I got a text from my friend, we were at a party and he paid for the gin. So he sent me like, he wanted to charge me. Venmo allows you to do that, not just that you pay, but he can charge you. So I got a text and he was saying, hey, this guy wants to charge you $50. Reply to this message with yes, or I don't remember what I had to reply. And I was like, interesting, because I can do that from the lock screen, right? At the time, I had it, I could see the preview and everything. So if I can do that, if I can just try to charge someone and answer an SMS for them, then this is what happened. And this is a demo. So the device is locked. No, there is audio, by. So there I ask Siri, who am I? So it will give me the phone number. So that short code is the one from Venmo. Yes. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually activating the being able to pay over SMS on the victim, because it turns out that I found out the phone, so I can reply there and say activate, and it will activate. So now now I can charge the victim, and I activated the service so the victim can pay by replying to an SMS. So on the left, I go to Venmo as an attacker and charge the victim with the phone number I got in the lock screen, in this case $1, because I don't have a lot of money. So I ask Siri to read the latest text.
753 said, attacker account requests $1 from PWNED to pay. Reply with 279,470.
So yeah, you didn't have to reply yes. I forgot you had to reply with a code.
Yes.
So I'm replying to the text.
What do you want to say?
279471.
Ready to send it?
Oh, yes.
That's me trying to be cool.
Continue reading.
No.
And you will see I will refresh the site, and I just stole $1 from a device that was actually locked and theoretically secure. So when I found this out and I wrote a blog post there about it, I thought, oh, this is very interesting. And my website doesn't have a lot of traffic, right? I write a lot about security, but it's not like a top website or anything. And I went once to look at my Google Analytics, and this is the top 7 of how the people get to my site. There is a lot of articles, but there is also a lot of bad people in the world. Like this is the top 7. People just wants to steal money. And actually, I guess I have the honor or dishonor that if you search in Google for how to steal money, I think now I'm the 3rd one, but I used to be for 1 year the first result in Google. If you look up how to steal money, you can test it later. So I guess it's an honor. So when I found this out, I was like, interesting. What else can we do, right? The goal for me was how can we broaden the impact and help push the industry towards like understanding that SMS is not meant to be a secure channel for sensitive actions. And I started to look, and there is a lot of things that you can do over SMS. You can reset passwords. You can actually register, like WhatsApp, for example. You don't have a username and password. You verify that you are the owner of the phone that you claim by replying to a text. Or you can also use it for 2FA in many services. So, and this issue with the SMS, I mean, I'm not talking about anything new here. So I went to do searches per year in Google, and it went down to 2015. And you see on the left, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, always talking about the same thing. We shouldn't be using SMS for security purposes. But it's not that articles are there about it. NIST itself, in one of the drafts, then there was a controversy, you guys may be familiar with it, but it was actually discouraging or deprecating SMS originally, and then they just discouraged it officially. And you probably heard about what happened with Reddit, that it was recently hacked, and one of the things that happened was the 2FA was over SMS, so I think there was some SIM swap in there. So this is happening, this is real. We have been talking about it for years. This happens a lot in security, and nothing gets fixed. So my objective now is to help push the industry to stop relying on SMS as a secure channel. And this is why I did this talk, and I wanted to do something that is just yet another reason to ditch SMS. So the first thing I wanted to know is, okay, I know I can reset passwords. I know 2FA is being used for that. I know for verification purposes. So I found this really cool service that actually lists all the shortcodes like you saw for Venmo for services. So here I can use this and try to look at banks that use it and for what purposes. So I can find a lot of services thanks to this that use it rather than me just trying to go to the website, set up a username, and see what options I have for 2FA, password reset, and all that stuff. And this is just a kind of like a Alexa top 100 version, just a small subset. But for password reset, you can do it over SMS in WordPress, Google, Netflix, Instagram, PayPal, Facebook, eBay, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can do two-factor authentication in the 3 big ones with over SMS, Microsoft, Apple, Yahoo. You can do verification in WhatsApp, in Signal. Twilio is a VoIP service, so programmatically you can make phone calls and stuff like that. But one of the things it allows you to do is to own a caller ID. So, and you own that caller ID. So basically when you make a phone call programmatically, it will display that number by you verifying that you own a phone number over SMS. And Google Voice, you can have virtual numbers, but you need to tie them to a real number. A lot of scammers use this, and you can verify a phone number. You can just tie it to someone else if you do it over SMS and do an attack like I showed with Venmo. So the conclusion here is there is many services that use SMS as a secure channel for sensitive actions, and it's used in different environments for 2FA, verification, and password reset. So let's look at the attack vector, right? How will it look like when we try to attack a mobile device that is locked? Because in the end, this is what the talk is about. If a mobile device that is locked, that we all feel like it's encrypted, we have the FBI fighting with Apple because they supposedly cannot do anything about it, and all this, that sense of security that we have when we have a mobile device locked. So the first thing will be to obtain the victim's email. The second one will be to use it to initiate password reset in all services, because we just saw many of them, you can password reset over SMS. We want to obtain the secret code that is sent over SMS, like we saw in Venmo, and then feed it into the UI again to complete the password reset. And then we just set the new password, and that's it, right? So how do we obtain the victim's email? So in this case, what we can do is on a locked device, we say, hey, send an email to attacker@domain.com, basically an email that the attacker controls. And you basically will say that, in this case, to Siri, so it will send an email. That's how I can get your email, because you cannot get it anymore from saying, who am I? It used to be the case, now it only displays the phone number. So you just ask Siri to send an email. And you receive it in your email, so you know what the email was. How do we obtain the secret codes? As we talked about, many people doesn't disable the preview of texts in the lock screen. And you can even ask Siri to read the text for you. So you have to actively disable this. So you can just see it there. So we have now that if I have physical access to a locked device, I can get these 2 pieces of information. But we still have 3 more, which is we have to initiate the password reset. We have to complete the password reset with the codes that we got in the lock screen, and we have to set new passwords. So there is a lot to compromise because we have a lot of websites that we can compromise if we have physical access to a locked device. But we have limited time. I take 5 minutes to pee. So if I left my device on the table, right, that's the time you have. So we need automation. That's the key. So, and that's how I wrote a Ransombile, which comes from ransomware in mobile. I don't have a lot of creativity. That's not one of my strengths. But as you can see, it's basically an app, a mobile app. In reality, it's a website, but I use CSS just so you can use it on your mobile. And the reason is because you may be walking around and find a phone on the floor, or you want to prank your friends, or you want to just make some money. So it basically what it helps you to do is it automates the entire password reset process. And in this case, I started by using Burp and looking at the APIs of Google and all that stuff. And it's just very complex because it changes a lot. And the other thing is I was getting hit with CAPTCHAs all the time because it will kind of detect that I was doing something not really in the usual way. So I found that Selenium is much better for several reasons. Selenium is basically a library a library that allows you to do automation at the UI level. And this is used a lot by developers when you want to test, if I click here, 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 and here, do I have these CSS buttons with these colors and stuff like that? So this is super useful, not only because now you don't need to reverse any APIs or look at Burp, but it's also super easy because there is even a plugin for Firefox that you can literally click around, it records the move and generates the code for you. So it takes me 3 minutes to add a new service that I can compromise to Ransombile because I just use Firefox and I literally reset a password while that is recording and generating the code, which is the end. All it does is with code it uses CSS as pointers where, okay, this is the text box where you put the stuff, this is the button you click and stuff like that. So super, super simple to make this open source and just people can add a lot of new payloads for new websites. So now we have that we cover all the steps. So this is really how it looks like, how Ransombile works, right? We have on your left side, we have the victim's device, which is locked. So you will take that phone, or you found a phone on the floor, for example, right? You take that phone and say, hey, send an email to victim.ransom@gmail.com, which is an email you as an attacker own, about subject saying content. That is just to fill up everything that Siri wants. And Ransombile is monitoring that email. In this case, I use Gmail as a proof of concept, and I'm just monitoring that all the time. And as soon as a new email gets, it will take the address where it's been sent from, and it's feeded into the app automatically. It starts to initiate the password resets for all those services using UI automation. So I will start to see in the victim's phone the codes start to come in. So all I have to do is to read them from the screen, enter in the UI of Ransombile, and click pound. And then it will complete the password reset process, and it will add the password that you want, and now you just compromise that person's digital life in 2-3 minutes. And now you can go and demand money for it. Don't do that, though. So I'm going to do a demo now, and I want to introduce you to Tompromise. Tompromise is a play of words of compromise. Priscilla helped me here. Again, creativity is not our strength. But basically, this is the victim, right? And he's a millennial because he uses Gmail as an email, as his email account, right? And, he likes to tweet, and he uses Facebook, so he uses social networks as well. And he has a website in WordPress. And, when he wants to pay his friends, he uses PayPal. And he has all that stuff on his phone set up. So So he's like many of us, actually. Actually, I integrated the demo here. So before I started, on the right, it's a simulator that basically, it's an iOS simulator that basically has the Ransombile loaded. On the left side is the victim's phone that is locked.
Sent an email to victim.ransom@gmail.com about test, saying test.
Gonna be here.
Here's your email message to victimransom@gmail.com. It says, test. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send it.
So if you see an email, it's gonna show now tompromise@gmail.com because the app is monitoring the email. So I only have to click there. Of course, I can automate this as well, so I don't have to interact with the app at all. But for the demo, I want you guys to see what is going on. So you see that now it opened a lot of browsers, and I'm not doing anything. This is automatic. You'll see it puts in the password that I want. It selects the SMS, password reset over SMS after putting the email, not the password. And now I will start to receive codes. And it did that for all the websites. So you see that SMSs are started to come in, and because that person didn't disable the preview on the lock screen, I can see those codes. So all I need to do now is to go, and the tool is waiting for those temp codes to complete the password process. So I only have to add it there. More SMS are gonna come in. I'm a little slow typing, but I just wanted to make sure that in the demo, but obviously you can do this a little faster. But the point being, you see how it works. It automatically started the password reset process. You receive the SMSs. The tool is waiting now for the temp codes, and we will just take them and feed them into the UI again and just complete the password reset with the password that you see above. That is what you picked. So now that I have all of them, I just click one by one again, just so that you can see how the tool works. But obviously, I could just do this automatically. And you see that it's doing exactly the same again. So I just compromise Twitter, I just compromise PayPal, and Facebook, and the other apps are in the background. You just don't see them. But this is how easy it is. Thank you. So, and it will suck to get that many accounts compromised, right? So losing your phone now is not really just about the money you lose, the $1,000 for the iPhone X. I mean, if you give me $1,000 or keeping my emails and PayPals and stuff, I probably give you $1,000 and keep my, digital life. So the thing is, I'm open sourcing this. I'm not creating a tool that you can go and start to compromise people. It's more a POC just to prove the concept, right? And you can go there. I didn't upload it yet. I will do it tonight. Well, we'll do it these days. But this week I definitely add it. I just need to touch a little bit because it's a little bit of spaghetti code. But so you can play with it. So conclusions. A locked mobile device is still insecure, which is kind of not a lot of people, especially not the people in security, has that feeling. Unattended mobile devices can be a bigger risk than unattended computers, and companies tend to ignore this. And a lot of companies, they force you when you get up to lock the screen and all that stuff, and they put locks so no one can physically take the laptop and things like that. But mobile devices is like, okay, they force you to have a PIN and that's it. But sometimes MDMs, they don't force you to disable the preview or to disable Siri on the lock screen. So, and as I said, the consequences of losing a phone are not only monetary, which is the idea that people usually has, or like when you lose it, it's like, oh man, I gotta now spend another $1,000. So now we kind of get in a second part of the talk, because everything I told you, you need physical access to the device, to unlock the device, but you need physical access. So I wanted to explore the idea of how could we do this without even physical access to the device. So if we think about the attack vector, there is two things in which it requires us to have physical access, right? Which is obtaining the victim's email, because I need to ask the mobile assistant to send an email, and obtain the secret codes, because I need the mobile device to look at the screen, to look at the codes. So how could we do obtaining the victim's email without physical access to the device? Well, I just looked at the previous art, and there is several research that allow you to interact with the mobile with the mobile assistant, actually from distance, right? So the first one, hidden voice commands, is pretty interesting. So basically what they do is they mix the payloads, like for example, hey Siri, send an email, in between noises or garbling sounds, and so that humans may not able to understand that it's actually sending a payload to Siri. So that's pretty cool, but I looked at the demo, you can still tell a little bit, but I mean, I was paying attention, right? If you are in a casual conversation and you hear a noise, then you probably won't realize. The second one is fantastic. So these guys, what they did is, for example, if you have your device with headphones on, right, with that is plugged in with cable, not the Bluetooth ones, what they do is they send electromagnetic signals that the coil of the headphones, you saw this, right? It's really awesome, that the coil of the headphone picks up. And they do it in a way that it will trick the phone into thinking that signal was coming from the headphones, and in reality, it's payloads to Siri. And they did even better the year after, I believe, and they do it now through the charging cable, if I believe correctly. Because right now, not a lot of people anymore uses the thing, but they are able to do it through the charging cable. It's pretty insane. And the third one, which became very popular, it's kind of like the hidden voice command, but much better. In the hidden voice command, we hear the growling sound, right? But what these guys do, they put the payloads just like we will speak it, but at a frequency that the human ear cannot really hear, but the mobile device can. So you can literally talk to the mobile assistant, but we humans cannot hear at that level. I think it's 20 hertz. I don't remember exactly. 27,000. So, and I actually want to show you how it works. So here they do the real thing, right? They have an audio in their device, and they just play it, and the phone obviously picks it up. So now they plug it into that to the amplifier, and they do it with a different frequency. And if you look at the phone now, they are playing the sound. We don't hear anything, right? But look at the phone. So that payload, I talked to the three, I wrote emails to them. I was back and forth with this guy and from the other two research, and they confirmed you can perfectly send an email with any of those three research. So we have now that we can, if I'm close to you, but you have your phone on your pocket, I am able to trigger your mobile assistant to send an email. How about obtaining secret codes for SMS? There is also existing research on this. SS7 attacks, probably all of you have heard already, but it's basically the protocol, how the carriers work, especially when you are roaming, and how they route calls and stuff like that. I'm not an expert on the field, but I put references for you to go watch these talks that are fantastic. And so with these attacks, you could be able to look snooping into SMSs. 2G downgrade attacks and the cipher that is broken, that it's used there, you could use that as well, and that's kind of like more a passive attack. Or femtocells in DEFCON 21, this is a fantastic talk. So basically, it's like a small base station that you can use, and these guys were able to get root access and compromise it. And the way mobile devices work, if I'm closer to you than or in reality, if I have stronger signal, kind of, because I'm closer to you, he will connect to me and not to the tower. And because I have root access on the tower, I'm able also to do a lot of stuff, like possibly looking SMS. And then there is the all now that is becoming very popular, the SIM swapping. They call T-Mobile and start to tell them some social engineering stuff, and they basically will own your phone number. So the conclusions are, it is possible to perform these attacks without physical access to the device. In theory, because I'm not showing you a demo, and you always should demand a POC or get the fuck out, right? So there is reasons why I don't have a demo, and mostly it's because of legal reasons, like messing with GSM it's kind of, well, not on the border, it's very legal, you can still do stuff, but yeah. This is actually, I wanted to put it here in case you guys think it would be something worth it. What I pictured is a backpack, with basically some SDR or stuff that can You can do these attacks for GSM, and also the amplifier that triggers the thing, and you have an Ubuntu running with Ransombile and kind of do that automatically. That would be really cool. So another conclusion, SMS wasn't designed with security in mind, nor to be used as a secure channel. Online services should encourage app-based temp codes, 2FA, whatever, and make SMS opt-in. Sometimes the only way to get 2FA is over SMS. It's better to have 2FA than not to have it. But online services, what I try to help push the industry, like all the research that has been done since 2014, is that companies actually adopt this. Recommendations for you, just to finish: don't leave your mobile device unattended. You saw there some bad stuff can happen. Disable the assistant in the lock screen. Disable notifications preview in the lock screen. Use apps for 2FA, and have 2FA. Don't provide your phone number if not required. I see that in a lot of services you don't have to, and it's the only way to get 2FA, then do it, but you can use actually a virtual phone number like Google Voice, and you can prevent SIM swapping attacks and even open source intelligence. Like if you go now to eBay, if someone has an eBay account and a PayPal account, you will be able to get 7 of the 10 digits because you go to reset password with the email and it will tell you, should I send the code to 415*******53, but then you go to PayPal and it gives you the last 4. So just an idea would be nice, and I kind of started to do it. Just use this automation that I have, which already is happening, and just get those numbers so you can go reset password, but you don't really are interested in that, just in finding out what the phone number is. Just an idea if you guys want to do it. And check the settings to disable security challenges over SMS. I think Google lets you pick between SMS and 2FA apps, and it defaults to SMS, so that's one of the things that I was mentioning. So in some services, you can actually do this. Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure. I'm giving another talk in DEF CON. Come check it out. It's very cool about hacking voicemail systems and what the impact is. It's actually somewhat related to what we talked here, but from a different angle. And it's on Friday, 1 p.m. in track 1. And thank you very much. And I don't know if you guys have any questions. I think we need to use the mic.
Yeah, if you have questions, please put your hand up.
There's a question there, I believe.
Martin, awesome talk. Just wondering, in your experience or your observations, when you take people through this, say, on a one-on-one basis, how many people have actually hardened to a pretty good standard their phone from an unauthenticated state?
So I did not take the numbers, which probably I should have done first, kind of like a survey. What I can tell you is security-minded people, like in the audience, they mostly didn't have it, but some of them did, and I make fun of them. Most of my friends that are not in the security industry, they all had the preview. They all did. And for iOS 12, I think, and now with the iPhone X, it will blur it, and when you look at it, then it displays it because it authenticates you. So we are doing better, for sure. But there is still all devices there, right?
Fantastic. Thanks for the talk.
Yeah.
I was just wondering about the Androids. You mentioned that you're always talking about Siri, but about the Androids, I'm not really sure what I'm even using. So
yeah, so I use Siri because I have an iPhone and my testing devices are iPhone. So I know from questions to my friends and from testing, Android has the same issue. But I believe at the time of iOS 10 and whatever was the version of Android already had the preview disabled by default. So you have to actively kind of like do a mistake and activate it, while it was not the case for iOS. But this is totally applicable. I mean, you have the notifications on the lock screen and you have OK Google. So it's totally applicable. And to Windows Mobile, just in case. Any other questions? All right, let's go drink then. Thank you.